Good afternoon, everybody, and I am on a new laptop, and hopefully the sound is going to be perfect because I'm going to have a fascinating conversation with Dr. Clare, all about a new retreat that she's got coming up, and you're going to learn all about the 4 month course that they ran, and oh, it's just right up my street. Clare, how are you? Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. I'm very well. It's a little bit windy where I am, so if I don't know whether it's a myth or not, but if I have any glitches with the internet, please bear with me.
No, don't worry. I've been having glitches all week. I've been doing quite a lot of lives because I usually, before the festivals, we bring all the people on for a wee chat so that people can understand what it is that they're doing. So, yeah, so you were just telling us, I kind of stopped you mid-flow because what you were talking about was so fascinating. I really want you to explain to people how the retreat came about, and because obviously you did this course. So can you just tell, how did it come about in the first place? Why did you
Okay, well,
decide?
so it's been a long kind of birth in coming, and so I'm a conventional medical doctor, but I'm also a holistic therapist, and I'm an energy medicine teacher and practitioner. And all the time I had been kind of balancing that duality between my medical work and the holistic work. And I was thinking about it last night, about, I wonder what it is that I want to share with Lily. And I thought it's interesting. People would say, oh, I'm a menopause specialist. My work and my passion is menopause. And because of that, I found all these holistic ways to work with women. And actually, it was quite a kind of intentional thing that I decided. I had worked most of my career with them in the childbirth, really very much about honouring mothers, honouring women, honouring that all are born through women, and that no harm should come to any of their children. And with birth, it was just like, how can we honour their life cycles? How can we honour these rites of passage? How can we honour these transitions? And I had taken quite a bit of time out of my medical career, either after my training, and I've trained in lots of other things. I became a medical homeopath. I trained in energy medicine, lots of other different modalities. And I actually took a year out of my consultant job too long ago to mention. And it was like probably one of the reasons why I went into this specialty, because I realised it wasn't so conventionally medicine, heavy, that this was about really working with women at times of big transitions during their lives when they could make really positive lifestyle changes. So when after menopause had been not talked about for so long, and it was like, shh, and your GP will deal with that or this or that, and oh yeah, no, we don't talk about it. It was like, actually, this is an ideal way that I can share my expertise in, combine the conventional with the holistic at a time that women are really, I keep on saying women, but people, men, perimenopausal people are looking for answers and are finding a lot of them for themselves. So it ended up culminating in that I started a menopause clinic through the NHS back in 2020, and it was a time that GPs weren't, we kind of thought GPs were dealing with it, and GPs didn't really know anything about it. And then I think, and it's very much like what you promote with Heal Scotland. Actually, it's been the public that have pushed a lot of the information. It's been the learning and actually been really asking for answers. But more and more and more, I felt like my hands were really tied, and seeing people asking for oh, my HRT is not working, or this is not working, or I need to get fixed. I was like, what is really happening here? So I went back to, well, what's happening with the energy, and what is happening with the energy when our hormones come into a period of flux? Is it just a deficiency of hormones, and are we actually on this big long decline? And I was like, absolutely not. We are whole beings. And menopausal women are to be so respected, because we are the change makers in the world and need to be honoured and revered like other societies have done, from our wisdom traditions.
Amen to that. You know, such a for me, you know, wonderful stage of your life. You know, you've stopped caring about, you know, things that don't matter. You can love your grandchildren and give them back. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's such a cool time. And why did we? And we also have got so much life experience and wisdom, and you know, and also real holistic overview of our communities and what's needed. And that's what, you know, when you were talking there about the lunar cycles and the energy centers, it's so interesting you should say that, because I started working with energy centers with the breath work. I don't know whether it was an intuition, coincidence, but I really started the difference that it made. And obviously, if you go to Spencer's work, he's talking about you change the information in the field, it changes the information in the body. And, you know, I think, well, you know, you've now trained across modalities, which I think is what we all need to do, so that you can understand that the body's way, way more than just a few organs stuck in a meat suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And
sorry,
no, go ahead.
tell me about the retreat. What are you going to be doing in the retreat?
Yeah. So the retreat initially was to follow on from, it was to be, you follow on for the second cycle of the 4-month Energy for Menopause course. And in this course, in this online course, it was incredible, it's an incredibly interactive course. We meet weekly for 3 weeks out of the month, honouring a rest, honouring what would have been our bleed, which is the times the new moon. And actually, if we hadn't done that at the time that we had a cycle, well, there's always a good time to start. It's like, this is a time to say no, this is the time to shut the door, and all the learning and activity and everything can come on the other. And it's like, how can we live in cycle? How can we live to be in tune with the seasons outside, the seasons of nature, of the calendar year, but how can we tune into ourselves? And out of all the things that I had learned and experienced and taught, I came to, so in the energy medicine that I teach and I learned, it was about 9 different energy centers and how they work together. But actually, for me, the biggest thing in menopause was that, how can we come back to ourselves? How can we come back to that center? How can we come back to actually that jewel, that, you know, who you are? And time becomes more precious. And what is it that you're here to do? What is it that you want to share in the world? And can you be content with simply just being who you are? Because that's like the most amazing thing. If people can be authentically themselves, that is such a gift, I think, to humanity. And if you can shine that light, if you can walk into a room and shine light, you know, your work's done.
Absolutely, the light in the room, and that can be challenging in the madness of today's world, really. I just want to talk. I could keep you on here for a while, but I just want to talk before.
I haven't answered the question yet either.
I never even noticed it. A little bit about Stephanie's place, Hobbs in Cretan, because place to do this work. It is simply magnificent. And, you know, I know that you know this as well, but being held by the land while you're doing the work, it's just like, it just makes everything so much easier. The ease just happens when you drive in that drive. So, and her attention to detail and the art. And
absolutely.
It's just spectacular. So, so carry on now, please answer.
Sorry, I think my internet's a bit funny. It's absolutely beautiful. I actually went on a retreat in last November, and it was just amazing. I'd seen the Hill of Burns in its development, you know, a little bit as Stephanie was getting ready for the retreat. And my very good friend Laura, who I'm doing the retreat with, lives like 2 doors away, and I couldn't believe how 3 like absolutely amazing women have found themselves living right next door to each other, because in between them they have a friend who has this labyrinth and meditation center, and it's just amazing. But that's it. It was a perfect place for this retreat, because this retreat is about realizing that our nature, that we are part of nature, that how can we, if our hormonal balance is out, how can we then begin to have a relationship with nature, and that knowing that that we're part of nature, we're part, our rhythm, getting our rhythms into the earth. There's so many like amazing. You saw the 100-year-old oak trees, how grounded they are, how many, the history that they must have like absorbed, and all the stories. There's so many. There's waterfalls. There's beautiful beaches. There are stone circles there. It's a really, really, really potent piece of land, and it just seemed to me like a perfect place where we can connect with ourselves, connect with the land, connect with our breath, connect with that light that I mentioned. And it's the work that I'm going to be doing. So I'm doing it with Lorna. So Lorna has her business is called Conscious Living. And that's really what it is. It's about how can we be conscious of our breath? How can we be conscious of our thoughts? How can we be conscious of the food that we're putting in? And how just it's really about very, very, very simple conscious living. And out of all the things, I was like, what do I teach when I was doing my online course? I can show that I'm the menopause expert. There's so many menopause experts out there. I was like, how can we bring it back to, you are enough? So by working with the energy centers, we start off with working with the root, connecting to the land, honouring those that have walked in that land before, honouring our line, our maternal line, our paternal lines. This is not just about the divine feminine. This is about coming in to unity, bringing the parts, the yin, the yang together, the masculine, the feminine. I would say that men are welcome to come to these to understand more about menopause. But how do we really, and it can sometimes be scary for people, but how can we connect with what it is that we hold? And when you go, I think there is probably a little bit of delay at my side, so
I think over the last 5 years, there's been, let's say, some interruptions with the menopause and with periods, etc. And there can be many reasons for that. But what my point is, people in their 40s and sometimes late 30s are looking at perimenopause now, and menopause start early. And of course, there's all the operations that can put you into menopause, and then how it doesn't go away the minute your period stops. That can go on for 10, 15, years afterwards. So you actually have a really big catchment area. But you said something before we came live, which I thought, this is so important, is why not learn all this before you're in the crazy space of brain fog and schizophrenia and sweats and overwhelm. It's a really, really great idea to do that before anything, and it might not happen to you. I got off fairly lightly, I think, compared to what I see some people. But I think it's a conversation that we need to have. And I'm thinking of my granddaughter. I've only got one granddaughter, all the rest are boys. But, like you were saying, these rituals, these kind of passages, that cultures always recognise, and for some reason we don't. And how
we will be there. We're going to have a little ceremony and actually make our own crowns.
Brilliant.
To crown ourselves as as our queen, our second queen of the second spring. Or some people talk about the autumn queen as well. So yeah, really standing and taking your place. So, and I think it'd be so lovely for young. So it's right back to that. Like, were we honoured when we had our first period? What was your experience of menarche? I mean, what was it your mother said to you, and what was it? Did you have to hide it away? But was that something that was celebrated? So equally, we should be celebrating stepping into this like final cycle of your life, and it's exciting because what is it that I've got to share, and see how chaotic the world is just now, and I feel so sorry for the young ones just now. They've had so many conflicting advice; they just don't know what to believe. And if they could actually trust from an elder and see, well, this is what this person has learned. This is what I can learn. This is how I can work with the earth. This is how I can learn to prepare my food. This is how I can, digest in a relaxed way. And these are all the foundational aspects of health. And one of the things that I also realised, like understanding in traditional Chinese medicine, they say that you come in with a certain amount of energy, your essence or your qi or your jing, and it depends very much how we spend that. And usually we spend it quite unwisely. We're going partying, we can do this, but we can manage that because our body buffers it. And that's our prenatal chi. So that's what we come in. It's what some people are given more. It depends on your genetics, and but some people have more of it and some people don't. But once we've spent that, we don't have so much in our bank account. So all the things that you've done beforehand are so important. And that's that is the breath, the environment, and I think the more and more that we can have that that strong foundation before the hormones change, then it's much, much more likely that you'll have an easier time.
Well, exactly. And I think, at least now people are aware, because awareness is the first that these massive shifts, drops, increases in our hormones require us to eat different foods. I mean, it seems quite obvious, but I know for a lot of people it isn't. And I always say that, as a nutritional healer, that your nutritional needs will change throughout your life depending on your age, what you're doing. If you're breastfeeding, if you're running a marathon, if you're getting divorced, if you're, going through these, what can be quite often severe hormonal changes, adapting. And I suppose that's what it's about the flow, isn't it? And it's about that to what's coming next rather than resistance and wishing it was different. There's somebody called Bridget that's in. Hi. She's saying this is brilliant. She wishes she was going to be there to hear. So Bridget, I'm going to get her up to the academy here to teach all this stuff because it really is so important. And I think the other thing, and I'm sure you know this in your retreat, is that people make great friends. I really do. Who comes together is no accident either. So you've got a couple of places left, haven't you? How much does it cost? Let's just get it out there because that's going to be...
And I should know actually how much it costs, but I'm not actually very sure. I think it's between, for the 4 days and 3 nights, I think it's between about £500 and £600. Lauren has been the person who's done all the organising, but by clicking on the link, I haven't even shared it with Lilia just now, but it's round about that because that gives you a room in the house in Hill of Burns. It gives you amazing food, which I'm sure Lilia will testify to, and all the activities that we're doing as well. So you can also stay in a cabin. If you want to stay off site, we do give you, I think it's £150 discount as well for the weekend. But actually, the beauty of it is being on the land. And it's not, and I really understand that it's a time for everybody, it's a time of real difficulties, financially, and it seems a big outlay. But for 4 days, it's an opportunity to change your life, and something that I would say very, very much invested in. So
full board, never mind getting all that education in there. And there's something just nice about rocking up, putting your bag down, and you don't have to think about another thing until you leave. Because everything's laid on. So, yeah.
Oh, totally.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. So, and the very funny thing, because I was there for just over 3 weeks. We ran, I think, 5 or 6 retreats in that time. And on the very last day, it was my breathwork training course. And on the last day, I put them into groups and they have to teach the rest of it. So I watched them. So... the little kittens were due they were due that week, and just before Stephanie was meant to be doing her teacher training, she got a message and the cat had gone into labour.
I saw the kittens.
Oh my God, how cute are they? Oh, just absolutely. Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to say to you was, I'm up at the Health Hub in Quarriers right now, that's where I'm working from here now. And we're setting up an academy, because what we want is, we want this education to be available to people. We've got 5 different sized rooms that you can.
I've been down there.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you? Ah, I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
We had many conversations. So Jonathan. Yeah, we had
Jonathan,
many
yeah.
conversations. Yeah, he's fantastic, and I was
Yeah.
really excited that you'd come down, because I knew he was looking, and he needed somebody like you. He probably never even dreamed it'd be as good as that. So it's fabulous. I'm actually up in Orkney at the moment, so it's a wee bit of a drive for me. But that's probably why my internet's not so good. But I'm coming back down to Glasgow tomorrow.
Do you live in Orkney?
I do now. Yeah, 3 weeks out of the month.
Right, okay. Yes, well, anyway, we can talk after your retreat. We can talk about what you could come and teach here, because I mean that's just so up my street. And yeah, and as I say, we've got these different venues, because obviously when you're running courses and events, the venues are a real headache. And then also you're
Yeah.
quite often on your own to try and encourage people along, and it's just so much easier if you've got some help. And that's what we are planning to do. We're not planning to do what we will do.
Well, it's
And
very good timing, because at the time I spoke to Jonathan, I ran a 1-year course in the fundamentals of Eden energy medicine, and I ran that from 2018 until this year, until 2026. But they're no longer running it as an in-person training. It's going to be online, hybrid, and everything. And I really looked up the Warriors as thinking about doing either some of the introductory workshops there, or even running the 1-year course. So I'm no longer teaching that. So I'm open to other possibilities, always obviously within my travelling and everything. So
if you're going to be coming down here anyway, you just give me dates and we'll just get something
great,
organised. Yeah.
wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I am a wee bit jealous that I'm not coming, because I would love to come and get Stephanie's food and be in that house again and to have all that wisdom from you guys. It sounds absolutely fantastic. So I know that the people that are coming are going to have an amazing time. Can you put the link? Do you have the link handy?
Do you know, I should have had it handy, but I can put it. I've just put my phone off. How can I put it onto StreamYard just now? Because I'm on my computer at the moment. So,
Can
it.
you see the comment?
I can't actually. No, I can't. Can I manage to put it on? Is it on Facebook, or you're everywhere?
Send it to me and I'll put it in.
I'll send it to you. Okay. I will just see if I. You think you'd have thought I would have been kind of organised with all of this, but there you go.
What's the website called?
What's
the website called?
It's conscious. No, excuse me. I'll just find this from a. So it is. I wonder if is there a place that I can copy onto here. There's a chat thing. No, so it's consciousliving.my.canva.site.
My.canva.site
/
at
so consciousliving.my.canva.site / energy / menopause.
Right, so back
Just a
tell me
dash.
that. Back
So is
dot site back energy
/ menopause.
Oh, wait a minute, I've made a mess of this.
I'm just going to listen. Why don't I just send it to this to you in Messenger? That'd be the easiest thing. There you go. There, that's it. There.
Let me see if I get close.
So I do apologise to anybody if the internet is coming in and out, because I noticed that I talked over Lily a couple of times. But
I know,
I think things have been...
that's nothing compared to what happened earlier on. I think people can definitely follow this conversation. So thank you so much. And are you flying down tomorrow?
No. I get 6:30 ferry with my cat, and then we drive down from Thursday down to Glasgow. So, and it's the following. It's not this weekend. It's next weekend. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Get to see some trees.
Yes. What put you up to Orkney?
So I went back into the NHS, and I've got another story to tell. So I left the NHS. I tried to leave it a few times, but I left it. I thought I left it finally in 2024, but I then carried on doing my menopause work, and I was doing mainly the energy medicine and set up my business, Nurture Your Energies, and I'm very, doing that. But then this opportunity came up, and I don't know, there's something very special about here. So, and from an NHS perspective, the midwives here are just second to none. The care is amazing. It's just so, if anybody wants to have a baby, come to Orkney. The midwives are fantastic. So, and I've actually one of the energy medicine students, well, colleagues now, she is a home birth midwife, and I managed to recruit her up there as well. So we're going to start a wee revolution up here.
Fantastic. Well, listen, it's lovely to see you, and thank you for coming on. And I know you're busy. Have a good trip tomorrow and have an amazing retreat, and I'll be in touch. Okay.
Thank you so much. And if people are interested, I've got to reply to a couple of people who said, when are you doing it again? If there's interest, we will definitely do it again, and we'll be looking, probably not doing it this autumn, but maybe next spring. So
it's a good idea to have plan B, because sometimes, people are busy now. You just don't have the date. So,
yeah.
The interest. Awesome. Thanks, Claire.
Thanks for your time.
Everyone.
Bye.